The Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Crash Course, episode number 250. I thought it was 258, 257. I thought it was 257 last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes. I think you miscounted.
I think I did. If only I was the one that put that together. I'm going to claim ignorance on that one. Okay. Anyway.
Bless.
Good episode on deck tonight. Ben's here. Josh is here. We've got... Yep, look at that. We can even show it. No. You were right up into the camera and then you backed away. Ben's sitting out back. But we got Brandon Dixon going to be coming on the air to join us here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk with him about the activities in Sturgis here coming up this Saturday. Redneck Rumble is on deck there. And then we're going to be getting into the conversation with Ben and Josh about TrackShot, Florida, and Spinning Wheels. What were the other ones?
Vegas.
Any of the other ones? We'll take it as they come.
Yeah.
At least four thought we sit on with it. But I gotta get Brandon on the phone. How's everybody's drive? Snowy up here, huh?
It was bad the whole way. I got about 26 inches. I don't know what you guys got up here, but
probably a foot.
Yeah, I had 21 Sunday morning. I had 21, and then I got about 4 or 5 more.
I was surprised.
I spent the day at work moving snow all day.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I was surprised. I drove to work Sunday morning. It wasn't bad at all. They did actually a nice job getting the roads cleared. And then with the wind blowing, it's kind of shitty. But
yeah, surprise! They were all out in the snowplows this morning. And they normally aren't, even on school day.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Today's double
it's
time,
a holiday.
Right? Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
a
say, today's
holiday.
double time, man.
Let's make sure we're out there.
Long hours today.
Yeah, I know Dan was going at 4, and he was still dumping snow this afternoon when I went to town.
Hey, Brian, can I put you in?
That's got to be exhausting, though.
Yeah, he went in, I think 3 or worked like 2 a.m. to 7 or something the day before, some crazy amount of hours.
Ugh, that's the worst times.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun at all.
No.
I ran my blower a couple times to get ourselves dug out, and then we had our neighbor's driveway twice, and then our neighbor down the street decided that they're going to go out and get an electric snowblower to dig themselves out, and that thing got about halfway down their driveway and jammed up, and I think it blew all the gears out of it. So it wasn't brand new. I mean, the thing was the size of a kitchen chair. It was just a tiny little thing. So I started digging them out too, trying to get them up and going, because they parked their car alongside of the road, so it's just encased.
Yeah, Zach had a dentist appointment, so we came back through Geneva, and we came down where FLCC is in Geneva there on the 14. And you can see where everybody had left their cars parked alongside the road. They were all buried.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
They pack them right in.
Wow.
They're not supposed to park on the street.
Yeah,
when
right.
it snows.
Yeah.
So the snowplow guys are like, all right, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, make them dig it out.
Yeah, there's rules. It says right on there. You're not supposed to be parked on the street in these situations. It's no good.
We got ready to go, and I asked Zach, I'm like, you want to drive today? He's like, no, I'm good, Dad. I kind of figured that.
Right.
Did you guys see Sheldon Whitman's truck?
No.
Sheldon Whitman went out plowing yesterday, and he hit a dually with a plow, and he went off this ravine. It was scary. Yeah. Did you see that picture?
I seen a picture. Holy
this
shit.
ravine was down like 60, 80 feet, straight down, and then he hit a tree at the bottom. Totally totaled his truck with the plow on it and everything. Yeah. Shoved it all back up and in. And he took the picture from the road, and I mean, it is straight down that hill. It was scary.
Did he climb back up the hill at the top of the road? Like, how do you get that picture? Do you go back or do you climb up the hill?
Yeah, he was waiting. When he took it, he was waiting for 911 to show up.
Actual county snowplow truck or state. There's a picture from the wing window down there, and it's way down there. I'm like, holy shit, he parked down there, stupid. And then Josh like, yeah, he went off the side of the road, went down.
Scary.
What kind of truck was it?
A Dodge dually.
Was it tilted?
It is now.
It's junk for sure. But every time that kid gets something new, junk. Poor kid.
Brandon Dixon joining us on the line. I'm sure that you don't have quite the snow situation that we've got up here. Brandon, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. How you guys doing?
We're doing okay. How's everything coming together for Redneck Rumble?
Things are going together pretty good for being a week out still.
Is it getting any easier?
Not too bad. I mean, this show we've been doing since 2014, so it's starting to get a little smoother for us, but it's always a challenge when you get a national event put together, for sure.
How has the event at this point changed from what it was at the inception? The Derby was a nice January offering to start with, and now it's become a complete production company with multiple events through the course of the year, and it's an event that everybody really looks to. It's generally a national event.
Yeah, when we first took the opportunity to help the Fair Board put that show on in 2014, we didn't have any of our other owned events that we wanted to do, and we started in 2016 putting on the team show in October, and then the following year we started doing Urban Destruction. So yeah, we went from having one national event to three, and then we even did a point series in 2017.
How was the point series received? I mean, I noticed that you said it was in 2017, but it wasn't in 2018.
It's a lot bigger challenge to keep track of all the different points things and the times, the way to give different types of points. I really did like the concept of it, and realistically the only reason we didn't do it in 18 was manpower. Sure. We really needed like one or two extra people just to help keep track of points type items during the events and prior to the events, because I think it honestly stabilized car counts. We had early points for being inspected and sticked prior to noon, I think it was. So we would get like 50% of the cars inspected by noon on a national event.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's a bonus.
Smart.
You know, and you had at least 25% of the drivers would run all the national events that you had. So it's nice to have new faces, but it's also nice to have consistent faces because they already know the expectations of what you want.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, when you have people like Lloyd Kirkham and Jordan Kirkham and Don Santel and those guys show up and, you know, they only have 2 or 3 things on their inspection list because they've already went through your lings all throughout the year. It doesn't take long to inspect those cars.
I'm going to move all over.
You know, where a new guy may come in and interpret things slightly different, have 10 things on his list that you have to help him, guide him towards being legal 2 or 3 times throughout the day just to get him a stick.
Great point.
Yeah, it's, you know, I've watched Chris when he does the fantasy league at Blizzard Bash or Cap City Carnage, and just the pain that it is to try to score cars there. I mean, that's, you know, and then have to do it, you know, at 3 separate shows, and it's there's definitely a lot more goes into a points deal than anybody knows. I mean, there's definitely a lot of crazy work.
About the time they rolled about 25 of those compacts out there, I had my fill of scoring.
Just keep doing it, though, huh, Chris?
Yep.
And then our series ended up coming down to the top 2 were within 10 points of each other.
Nice.
You know, like one of them might have had 540 points, another one had like 550. So imagine messing up throughout the year somewhere 10 points.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
You know, so it came down to a very close race or a close match in the point series, which you never would have thought that in the beginning.
That's cool.
So,
Nice.
Hey, so let me ask you.
I'd like to do it again in the future for sure.
Yeah. Well, we've seen a lot of other people try that. I don't know. No one's nailed it 100%.
Well, I mean, Candace and Sam did it for years.
That's
They're
true.
one of the
That's
point
true.
series out there. They can crown the champion every year at Blizzard Bash. So
Domination Motorsports, they're still doing it. She just posted a few minutes ago with their updated schedule. They've done that the last couple of years.
So I mean, and that's a proven thing out there. They've talked for years. I mean, they got the group of guys that follow the whole circuit out there. You know, out in Iowa and in Nebraska, Illinois, and all that, and they just. They had good, real like Brandon said, like Dixon said, they get a core group of guys that just they're hardcore into that series, and they're guaranteed show up. You know.
Yeah.
And it puts on a good show because then you get you get the rivalries going throughout the year,
Exactly.
And, you're only, you're 50 points up on me, I'm going to hand you your ass tonight, It's just, it makes for good shows for sure.
That's true. And you might get guys doing things. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
One other thing that was a factor in is we really needed 4 shows so you could have it where 3 of the shows were counting towards your points, and the 4th one was kind of like I blew my engine up or whatever may have happened. Mm-hmm. I don't count that one, but I count my top 3.
Ooh, that's smart. That's smart.
County Fair, the outdoor county fair show, ended up being our 4th one. We added that to the schedule for everybody to try to have an extra run to get a good points race. Mm-hmm. But we had 20-something national event drivers at a county fair slugging it out for $2,500.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hey, they get a show.
Was 3 or 4 fresh roundback wagons pretty much got junked for $2,500.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
It's like the good old days.
Good way to blow a $3,000 shell.
Wow. That's awesome.
Like your top 10 drivers, Santel, Lloyd Kirkham, Shea Skis, a few other guys. I don't have a list in front of me, but most of those guys, that show was actually a scratch for them.
Even after all that?
It was like their worst placing show, and it was the lowest paying show.
Nice.
It was that big of a dogfight from the gate.
Wow.
Hey.
That's crazy.
I like that though. I like that. That's cool. I like that. Mm-hmm. Hey, so I wanna ask you and I want to ask about metrics versus old iron and stuff, because it seems like you're leading the area down there. All the guys in our area that want to run metrics always talk about your rules. I hear about it all the time. Do you think you're obviously progressive in that, where some of your rules you're giving more to the metric world than the old iron and stuff like that, and trying to even them out? Do you see the progression? Do you see old iron dying soon? Like me personally, I just keep saying, no. I mean, old iron is going to be around forever. But do you see it trending where your derbies are going to be mostly metric stuff all the time in the future? Soon?
We still get a pretty good car count on both sides. Like this year, the metric class filled slightly faster than the old school for urban.
Okay.
And that show is one where we do half metric, half old school, and they're in individual heats, but then they have a combined feature.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know that it'll ever phase out completely, but definitely we're starting to see the quality of the old iron get harder to come by for a good, national event car. So maybe the rules for sheet metal repair may change in the future to make those cars viable. But I don't know if you'll see anytime soon that the old iron's just gone and that class isn't a thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. So
did you see his look?
No. Ben like sheet metal work.
Ben's already thinking about what he's going to use to make his own quarter panels.
Right. Totally.
Dude, I'm dealing with questions for a Vegas show and out west show of guys sending pictures of rotted out roofs from Cadillacs from out in Nevada or California.
Yeah, BS, right?
Yeah. They want to fix it with stainless steel
as well. It's all right, guys, you're allowed this much patch, that's it. I'm going to drill a hole in it to prove the rust, so do whatever you got to do.
So, Brandon, real quick, going back on that, do you feel that the progression is that we have to start separating the two? Because I get a lot of my drivers up here saying to me, I don't want to go against old iron. Just make it an 80s class only. Let's do 80 here and old. Well, that's not me. I mean, they're saying, well, old iron's hard to get. It's expensive. Okay, then buy a metric. But that's the world, do I have to start separating?
I've seen a few guys switch this year that ran old iron last year. They're going under metric this year because they feel the rules are pretty equal. We tried to balance it a little bit more. I go back and check our notes to see what the top 10 drivers were driving. Was it all old iron in the top 10, or was it a pretty good mix?
Right.
And typically we still get a pretty good mix. If you look at our top 10, 5 were old iron, 5 were metric. Mm-hmm. The year before it was 6 and 4. So
right.
It's been pretty good mix. The biggest driver is probably cost.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think the rules-wise, I think guys can compete in either one. You know, if they're competitive in an old iron, they're just as competitive in a metric. It's because of the driver, not necessarily the car.
I agree with you so much, man. I agree with you.
It comes down. I mean, you one good old iron, high show quality old iron car. I mean, you can buy 3-4 metrics.
I know.
You know, it's 76 Chevy wagon. You know, $3,000's a going rate just about now. So how many metrics can you buy for $3,000?
Yes.
You know, so it's all.
But it seems like I'm getting a lot of push where these guys are saying like, nah, I'm not coming to your show. I got guys saying this. I'm not coming to your show because you guys are pushing towards the old iron. And it's not that we're pushing towards the old iron. It's just that's what runs most of the time. And they're saying, well, you're scaring us off like that. I just, you're more metric, not more metric, but I see that your classes fill in the metric world instantly. And I don't feel that ours would.
I call that bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
You know, you can throw that out there. It's throw that out. Well, you're able to. You guys are letting this car run, so I'm not going to come run. We'll go run another show then. You know, that's just a bullshit excuse.
I agree.
You know, because people that are actually going to come run the show are going to come run the show no matter what's running.
True.
You know, they're going to support it.
True.
Right, they're going to find a way to build a car competitively, no matter what the rules are.
Absolutely.
That's something we've seen. Go ahead, Brandon.
I don't know. I mean, if you looked at the rules yourself and said, you know, hey, I'm able to take a metric car, can I be competitive? You know, that's the thing you got to ask yourself. Are they close enough and comparable enough you think a metric car could win if it had a good driver with a good drivetrain?
What were you going to say?
I was just, you know, people, you know, and we've touched on it before, everybody always seems to look for a crutch, a reason not to run somewhere.
Totally. It's not true.
They always look for an excuse not to run somewhere.
Yes.
I'm never going to run a metric because in order to run a good metric, you have to put way too much goddamn work into them. So I'm not going to run a metric. I mean, you know, if it was a knock the windows out wire class, then I would probably do that. Everything would be fair. But to build like a Brandon Dixon level, you know, one of his shows, I'm not going to put that much work into a car.
It's time.
You know, it's just not worth it to me. But
well, you will take a Buick 225 and knock the windows out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's what I'm saying.
And send it. And have. But it's just, you know, I don't know. I mean, you know, if it gets to that point, I mean, I guess I would have to run, you know, older stuff against. But I still would want to do all the work and do all that, you know.
There's a bunch of different jumping off points here for this. I mean, for one, Brandon was talking about the point series going back to the beginning, and now we're talking about that schism that we've hit on a jillion times before about the old iron and the new iron stuff. Well, now if you go to a weld class and you go to a chain and go class, how do you weight those points? Is it separate point chases? Is it a combined point chase and all that other stuff? So there's challenges with that. But then you've got guys like Ron McClung who have 2002 to 2009 Crown Vic sitting around, and he runs chain class stuff with that and does just fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So, you know, to that argument, like there's still a place for you to run, even if you don't want to put your time and effort into that. And it's definitely way easier to find a clean Crown Vic than it is to find clean old iron. And if you don't want to spend the money on the old iron, then you're going to have to invest the time into a Crown Vic if you want to run this class.
Nowadays, there's a class for everybody. You don't have to look very hard, and there's a show that has a class for
absolutely.
Everybody. You know, years ago, I mean, not too long ago, I mean, it was either this class or your weld class.
That's it.
I mean, that's that. But now the promoters I feel are getting smarter, and they're offering basically entry level to, you know, weld your ass off for 6 months. You know, it's.
But where the dilemma comes in is a lot of these guys will say, okay, let's just say a run of the mill, like we call it economy class, but okay, I got an old iron, I like your rules. Well, I got a metric over here. Well, allow me to have hump plates and a 12-inch plate on this one and a DP. But remember, Josh, I'm running against old iron, and it's like, no, these are the rules. And it's like, no, that's not fair because metric should have extra. And I see that but that's Brandon is one of the first guys that I've seen that have gone and said in the same class, two separate sort of rules almost. Metrics can have a little bit over here, old iron's over here, and his guys are okay with it. Mm-hmm. So is that the future? Is the future that you can't have a class where one rule set fits the whole class? Nah, it's just a question. He's pulling it off.
I think it all depends on the region.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wonder too.
I really do. I think it. You know.
But if you talk to everybody,
it definitely gives somebody a little bit of everything. Because think about it. Probably the worst point on the old ironing car at this point in time is body mounts. The quality of the body mounts.
Yep.
You know, if you run them bone stock with the factory bolts and mounts in it, you're playing Russian roulette.
Totally.
The car may be super clean, but literally the bolts are probably deteriorated to 50%.
Yep.
So it's really hard to run those cars and to trust the body mounts untouched. I mean, we can all, sneak the bolts out or try to sneak the bolts out and put good ones in, factory ones, but, so the older guys, they don't want to run the factory body bolts because they're probably junk. They're 40-something years old.
Right.
You're shaking your head now.
Metric guys, a metric GM guy, he knows the humps on his metric GM are trash.
Yep.
So he's got to have a hump plate or he don't even want to pull the car out of the garage.
Yep.
In a Ford, you're not going to run a Ford unless you're going to tilt it. There's just not much up front. And a bone stock car, they're okay, but even a GM's better up front, bone stock. So you give every one of them a little bit of something so their cars, the weak link that's not, completely known is kind of fixed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that, I don't know.
Brandon,
I put myself in that situation that, if I was building that type of car, what would I have to have for me to run that type of car to be, comfortable with it being a competitive car?
Definitely need a large tech to handle that. That's for sure. Because you start getting into, well, this car is able to do this, and this car is able to do that. So you have and you've been doing it long enough that you have a very thorough and reliable tech group they're used to that set of rules. You take a set of rules like that, your set of rules, and bring it up into an area that's not used to doing that.
Be in all sorts of trouble.
Well, just from a tech aspect, that's just the
tech crew themselves could be in trouble.
The first few shows trying to start that off and to gradually go into it would be a nightmare in the tech side of it. In a different type, in a different area, just starting out with it.
I'm just wondering the last time Brandon was told that he was smart.
Not very often at home.
Nah, they're all good.
No, it's really. I like it. I mean, it's you don't have to spend, especially people who are traveling. I mean, if you're traveling a long way, if I was traveling his show from New York to run, I'd build a metric, just because I'm not going to spend $1,800 for a whole iron shell. That's travel money. Call me cheap, but hey, most derby drivers are cheap. They want to get stuff, they want to get stuff done reasonable and put the money in the motor.
Yeah,
the drivetrain.
I think a lot of it is like when we get to the level like the guys that run Brandon shows, chances are it's going to be the same guys in the top 10. You know what I mean? It's going to be Don Santel.
A lot of good guys. Yes.
So I mean, those guys are going to be good in a metric. They're going to be good in old school. They're going to be good in a wheelbarrow. It doesn't matter.
It's a great point.
But that's the thing. I mean, I think part of it is, some of these young guys just got to build to their best and just go for it. Just go out there and maybe it takes a whooping or two, but you take it in a metric and then you learn and you move on and you become a better driver. But it's just. It's like I said with the crutches. Everybody's looking for a reason or an excuse in case they fail. Is how like I've said a million times. We've all been run over at our hometown fairs. Who cares if you go to a big show and you get run over by the best in the country?
It's a great point.
There's a lot of reasons why you didn't win, but there's a lot more reasons why you don't even bother competing.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing is, I think I get it. Derbying has become a not cheap sport. So if you're going to build more, you're going to obviously going to spend more money, but you got to learn. There's got to be a learning curve. It's hard to just start winning from day one, but
Well,
we're starting to see more new drivers in the national scene in the last 2 years than we have since I've been watching or pushing national events.
Totally.
Like. This year, we had 26 different drivers win more than $600 at our events.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
26 different ones.
Yeah.
That's great.
And put money in their pockets brings them back.
Oh,
I mean, you put money in my pocket, I come back. I mean, that's
well, it gives you the confidence that it's the opposite of what everybody's been trying to say for years, that it's dying, and when you see new faces like that come in at a national level, you're not talking county fair level, you're talking a national level. That gives, I feel, gives the promoters at that level confidence in kind of being satisfied, not satisfied, but happy that they're younger guys are coming into it. You
absolutely.
got new blood coming in. Basically.
We can flip that around too and look at some place that's more regionally known, like Winter Slam, which is coming up in just a couple weeks. But for the last 2 years, they've had 50% new talent coming in 2 years in a row. 50% new drivers. That doesn't mean that somebody just coming off the bench is running for the first time there.
Just first time running.
But it's just the first time that they got into the field for Winter Slam. But by the same token, there was a bunch of times where we would lean over and talk to Tammy or Randy, whoever, and say, "So, you know anything about this guy?" And they're like, "Never heard of him."
Right. Yeah.
So I mean that influx of younger talent it's still valid.
Let's go back 10 years, right? 5 years, 6 years, the beginning of Crash Course, but let's even go back farther, like 5 years before that. What was national level? To most people, like let's just say in our East Coast, you heard of Metal Mayhem, you heard of, but
Bash
to go
Cash.
there was like, oh man, going to Bash for Cash. Like the couple guys that went, you were like the cool kids that got to go over there. But let's fast forward, especially in the last 5 years. People are getting to watch national events without leaving their house. They're getting to see things that they like. They're realizing that a lot of these drivers are pretty cool. Like, okay, hey, I can go to this event and have fun. It's not as scary as maybe as it used to be. Now you're saying like, all right, I like Brandon Dixon's rules. I like the arena. I like the driver's list. I'm going to go into it. It's almost that simple. Where back in the day, it was kind of like, how do you even get to national level?
It takes the whole, and we've said it before, it takes the whole go a couple years, go the first year, go the second year, travel out, watch, see how things go, and then build for the second or third year.
Yeah.
And that takes that whole bit right out of the equation.
Yeah, you don't have to do it.
Because the coverage that's getting shown to people and the types of builds that are basically being shown to people, and it takes that right out of the equation. And that's benefiting these guys.
To Brian's point, how many times have we been out in Topeka or any of those stops in the Midwest, and there's guys that we knew that were coming for the first time, and they're like, "It was so cool. I got ran over by so and so." Now it's a complete flip of the mindset. Like, I'm not getting run over by those guys. Like Brian was saying, it's like, wow, I got tattooed by Jason Brzezinski. It was so cool.
Yeah, but that's just such a great point, because I think some of the national level guys might forget, but a lot of people look up to these guys.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people look up to these guys, and like, I would love to, if Jimmy Johnson smoked me and knocked me unconscious, that is a story forever.
Yeah.
Bring it on. But that's what can happen, and like you get to drive against these guys, and then you have stories.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Don Santel helped me with my carburetor, or juice
the
carburetor on our car. Now we have this.
Well, remember we went to Sturgis years ago. Went out there, and then a couple weeks later we were down in Arkansas, and we saw Brandon drive that Mustang. And we'd never seen it.
That.
Like, this is a 94 Mustang. What are you doing? This isn't even one of the good ones, but then it was awesome.
It was awesome. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was fun to walk, Jack.
Yeah.
Arkansas was good.
Yeah, good old thanks to Bill Miller there. Like a week before the show. Hey, can you put a mini car together and come run with us in Arkansas? I'm like, what?
Those are some hard minis there
Travis,
that night.
Travis and Bill had those Camaros, those Firebirds and stuff. It was a little bit different to see the Mustang with the scallops on the side. It was just short of having a Cobra hood on it. Online, you can find more on Brandon's upcoming shows, wickedderby.com. They've got a very busy schedule already mapped out. The 26th is going to be the Redneck Rumble. That is in Sturgis. And then from there, we're going to go to Urban Destruction on April 19th and 20th. We've still got the Sturgis Outdoor Show coming up in June, and then the Wicked Team Derby coming up October 4th and 5th. That is going to be back in Evansville. Before you know it, we're going to be talking about Urban Destruction.
Yeah, it's creeping up on us for sure. We're already getting hotels blocked out for people coming from out of town, and getting food vendors lined up, things like that, starting our advertising packages for local advertising.
With your schedule, do you have any off season?
No, we actually are pretty lucky to have just about the right amount of spacing between each show to be able to promote it well enough, to make it what I feel is successful. I think if we had any more shows on the national side, it would really probably take away from the other events we have.
Sure.
Are you looking at adding anything regionally?
We every now and then we'll do some county fair stuff to try to help out a few county fairs.
Yeah.
There's one that's about 45 minutes from us that we did a couple years ago. They hadn't had a show in 2 years or so, and they contacted us and said, hey, what will it take to get a show back here? I was like, well, we can try to get you some cars there, and you guys put some advertising out and get some crowd there, and we'll have us a derby.
As a fan of Demolition Derby, what's that mean to you to be contacted to go to an event? Because usually if the Demolition Derby goes away, it doesn't come back. And they reached out to you and said, hey, is there any chance we can resurrect this?
Right. I mean, it feels good because, I remember going to those as a kid and watching all what we thought was big name drivers that were really just local guys. But, that was what we looked forward to in the summer. School was out, demolition derbies and county fairs in the summer was it.
I like that.
So, one of the guys that I actually used to look up to, I'd make sure I went and shook his hand before he got to go on the track every time, wish him luck. I actually seen him at Urban Destruction 2 years ago. He was yelling, waving at me. I thought, well, ain't this just cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
That is neat.
That is cool. Hey, Brandon, one quick question. National level, what do you think makes a national level show compared to a regional? Because you hear it more and more now, and your show is definitely a national, But what do you think separates it? The money? The driver? What is it?
Some of it driver talent and that type of driver pool. But, to me it kind of feels like you have a certain number of people that follow national events, spectators and drivers.
Yes.
And when you can attract that crowd to your event, that's what makes it feel like a national event. The rules set, the degree of inspection, the quality of the facility, those things also play into it. But until you get that type of group or crowd to get involved with it, I don't know that money has anything to do with it, because I've seen several shows pay, $7,500, $10,000, and it still just has local drivers and local people watching the show.
I agree with you 1,000%. Mm-hmm. I agree with you 1,000%. It's not the money; it's the crowd that comes. I agree with it, because sometimes you could have national level drivers, like you said, running for $500 at a county fair. That's virtually a national show, Now,
on the flip side, we've seen places where there's 10,000 to win, and there's
32 cars.
Yeah, 20 cars, and
seen it.
It's not a great situation.
There's still the same guys that would have been there for $1,000.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The aspect of who was there.
You're so right, man. You're so right.
Brandon,
I really like about what the national events and maybe even social media has done is, some of the guys that probably would have never even met each other.
Yes.
Now have that bond, and you'll see them do things even outside of Derby.
Yes.
They may still go, be from Ohio and Arkansas and go to Blizzard Bash together.
Yes.
But you also may see them, on a fishing trip in Tennessee or, that's the thing I think is really cool, because it brings people together that have common interest.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, it did make the world smaller, didn't it?
Yes.
For sure.
Totally.
Brandon, the show's coming up this Saturday, Sturgis, the indoor derby, Redneck Rumble. It's been a popular one on the radar for everybody for the last couple of years. Hopefully the show goes smooth. Sounds like it's evolving, continuing to evolve, and it's certainly a landmark on the national landscape. But I know you can't do it on your own. Is there anybody that you'd like to mention that helps make this show possible?
Oh, we have a huge list of guys that definitely help. On the national side, we use Mark Elliott for announcing and inspection purposes, and the guy is 100% professional from start to finish.
He's great.
So I've seen that he booked a few more shows this year on national side. We got some local guys that help out. Darren Zoff, he's helped me ever since we started this. Cody Keever and Blaze Goodman. And the reason I mentioned those 3 guys in a row is we're actually going to run Spring X together as a team this year. So
nice.
They're going to get to run their first national events.
Nice. Cool.
That'll be cool.
Billy Rates, he helps Mark Elliott up in the announcer's booth, and he's one of the guys that helped us do some of the scoring and stuff when we did the point series. But he's also he communicates directly with our flagmen up in the announcer's booth because he's got a better perspective. If there's an axle on the track, or if there's a guy that's on the clock, or if there's a fire that breaks out, he's the one that's hitting the button to make sure everybody's aware.
Sure.
Or if we're restarting off a red flag, hey, make sure everybody's off the track. Hold your flags up, etc.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a good move. That's a good person to have. Race director.
Comes in handy.
Definitely.
And it worked out really good that he's actually a safety professional, as 9 to 5 gig. So.
He's a guy.
Doesn't hurt. Well, Brandon, man, I appreciate you coming on the show and hanging out with us for a little while. Is there any chance that we could look forward to a future appearance to either talk about the recap of Redneck or to look forward to Urban Destruction when that gets a little bit closer?
Yeah, I'll be definitely open to doing a recap. We can get some of these guys that, what they finished and how things went. And Urban's just around the corner. I'd love to get with you guys and talk about some details about that event also.
Fantastic. We'll keep the number handy, and I'll keep you on Facebook, and we'll look forward to talking a little bit more.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
We'll see you later, Brandon. Brandon Dixon. Looking forward to a very busy weekend in Sturgis with Redneck Rebel coming up this Saturday, the 26th. Tickets are limited. It's going to be indoors. Again, it's a busy schedule for them. They've got the 26th in Sturgis, Urban Destructions on the 19th and 20th in Evansville. Then they've got their outdoor show in Sturgis again, and then the Wicked Team Derby is going to cap their schedule on the 4th and 5th in Evansville. Just real quick, wanted to take a quick moment to get rid of Josh. There we go. Capital City Carnage coming up just around the corner as well, March 21st through the 23rd online, capitalcitycarnage.com. It's the Kansas Expo Center in Topeka, Kansas. What's the name of the arena?
Landon.
There you go. Landon Arena. Thursday, March 21st is the heat draw, 7 o'clock start time. Friday, March 22nd is the 7 o'clock start time there. That's the opening round of heats for the limited weld cars. Saturday is a twin bill. Saturday at 10 o'clock, limited weld constellations, compacts, and the first group of the extreme two-man class. And then 7 o'clock is the main event, 10,000 win limited weld feature. Modifieds on the card for that one, along with the second flight of the two-man extreme class. Again, online, capitalcitycarnage.com. All the action brought to you by DerbyNation.TV. So transitioning now to the ever popular, ever busy Josh and Ben with all the stuff that you guys have got lined up for. Ben should kick back and relax. I didn't know if he was waiting for you to take the lead or what. So Ben can hit it off. So what's coming up?
Yeah, what is coming up, Ben?
Florida Nationals.
Yeah, that's going to be the drivers list. I don't know if they've been posting, Nick King's been posting it, but they got drivers from all over the country. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the first time we ever seen JC Molly's, he told us that he was going to put a derby on that was a destination derby. Like, I'm going back original time.
Oh, yeah.
And really fast forwarding now, it's really becoming. There's people that are going to Disney World, taking their family. It's became a destination derby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Nick's not going on a cruise this year.
No, Nick will be there on time, he said. On time, Nicholas.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep, no cruise, he said.
How cool was that last year, Ben? Nick's stuck on a boat. Can you help us do some inspections?
Yeah,
Ben was gone the rest of the night.
You know what the
he
best
made it
part
back
was,
inside
though?
the nose.
Ben looked at the rules like this. Yep, let's go. And Ben was there. He got his targets in and he knew right what he was looking for.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? I mean, you were right.
Yeah, it was a good time. But no, yeah, he's got a different facility.
Yes.
It looks like a great facility. Looks like a great. It's going to be, like you said, the driver's list is insane.
Yeah. Looked like he was cutting apart one of the Godfather cars earlier this week.
Yeah, I think that was the one that Johnny drove
Yeah, he's been
last
cutting
year.
them apart for a while.
He's trying to sell it. He was going to scrap it from when he bought it.
Do you remember how many cars JC built last year? He had to
12
build
or 14.
Remember? Yeah, he looked dead when we seen him.
Yeah,
so I messaged him the other day and I go, hey, are you relaxing a little bit this year, or are you trying to kill yourself like you did last year? He's only building one car, his own car. Oh, and he's got to build a compact raffle car, but that's almost done. But I was like, good. Because last year...
You build that in a day.
By the time we got to you, you looked like you needed a nap.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
He
wore out. Either we're out.
But I'm glad we're back down there. I think the new facility is going to be awesome. The new track's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it'll be good. Again, the driver's list is good. I think everything's full, but 2 compact spots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think. Other than that, it's...
Skinny's going to be barbecuing.
They got Skinny going down with his barbecue. He's cooking for the drivers, which, that's... Anytime you're cooking with Skinny is a blast.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time,
You mean grilling, or is that a metaphor?
No, we're actually grilling. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Actually grilling. I can't wait, though. It should be a good time down there.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, you don't have anything until Vegas?
We got Vegas in March. I think is March 28th and 29th. So Ben and I have hooked up with Johnny. Johnny actually hooked up with a friend of his that does TVs and stuff where he can stream videos right through this $15,000 camera. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. And how nice Johnny is the last time we were all together, they pushed all this mud that was 4 feet deep, like in front of this whole area, all wet, sloppy mud. And this poor guy Bill shows up and put his camera down, and you remember this? And Johnny's like, and Bill's like, I don't feel comfortable with this. And Johnny's like, no, you're fine. If anything bad goes, we'll just pay for it. You'll be fine. And he's like, he looks at us, and he's like, I don't think that guy knows that this is a $12,000 camera.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
No.
He's hoping the mud hits it.
It was mud consistent of a slurry shit pit.
It was bad.
I mean, seriously, the
was
block
bad.
got hit, and it was just like
Tidal wave.
it was like liquid just coming. I was like, woof.
You know how like you jump over to hay into the over to our area there?
Yeah.
Well, it was mud all around it. Danny Ogden jumps off the top of the cattle like he's just gonna jump onto the
We're
dirt.
like, no,
We're
don't
yelling
do
like
it.
this. No, and dude, he goes in right to his nuts. I mean, sunk right to his nuts. He couldn't move. He couldn't pick up his legs. He couldn't do nothing. He just like stared at us, and it's like, dude, come on, you didn't see that. And I love him. He's the greatest guy ever. But we were in tears, like, oh, Danny. It was in his boots. His boots were covered.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. Yeah, it was funny. But so
Wasn't his worst Saturday, though.
no. He's such a great person, So he was laughing through it all. Ben and I felt really bad. Mm-hmm. But we're doing something called TrackShot with Johnny and this guy Bill. And Bill's just a really good guy. But Ben and I we're going to TrackShot Florida, and then we're going to Las Vegas. Now this Las Vegas thing,
Oof. This thing's
there's a
gonna be
lot
wild.
going on with it. But I think the first year is really prepping for year number 2. It's trying to get the casinos to understand that we actually have a following. And let's be honest, the reason Demolition Derby never gets bigger is because they always tell us we're following. You don't have a following. You don't have a following. So,
Not scalable. Have you heard that phrase?
yes, many times. So they're doing some really cool things for all the drivers. All the drivers are coming Wednesday night, but they're doing things in front of hotels. They're giving stuff away. They're doing poker tournaments, blackjack tournaments.
Yeah.
The blackjack tournament's $9,000 to win.
Yeah.
What's the buy-in?
Got to be Derby guys. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Man, can you imagine?
But it's this
That'll
casino
help out.
is specifically gearing towards Derby guys. And listen, I have people that are going to fly from New York. People are flying from Virginia. It doesn't have to be the drivers. If you're a Derby fan, like I know guys are coming from our area. Andy Wolfhanger is going out. He can play poker. You can just hang out with us. You can do all the stuff that the drivers are doing.
It's really set up, from what the understanding is, it's set up as like this first year it's with the poker tournament and it's a destination thing. And the Derby's kind of just like that's just entertainment for that time of the day.
That's also happening.
That's also happening.
Yeah,
and it's
cool.
and it's right on Fremont Street, which is like the old strip or whatever.
Right.
I've never been to Vegas, but everybody's been telling me this is like Fremont Street's like under a dome and all this crazy stuff. And there's some struggles, like the track wise, getting the track set up. The lady was kind of like, well, we have stands for 2,000 people. Is that enough? And Johnny's like, oh, no. I need like 6,000 people. You don't understand. Oh, it draws that many people? Yeah. Let me show you some information and stuff like that. So, like Josh said, everything's an initial setup thing. They've been trying to get in Vegas for years, the way he was talking.
Well, he's been bringing it up to us for years.
And they finally pulled the trigger on it, and everybody's real excited about it. Everybody's going and running is excited about it.
It's going to be fun.
I'm getting like 15 emails a day with rules and stuff, and in the tech group we got, and
technology sucks.
and it's I'm enjoying it, and it's going to be a good time. I mean, it's 2-day show, Friday and Saturday,
and they're going somewhere more like stocker rules.
It's like a limited. It's like a limited wall.
Heats and feature, right? It's not two different groups.
On Friday night is.
I heard two different formats.
And Saturday is just one night, I believe. It's not. If you. I think it's just.
If you run one night
on Friday and then 2 heats on Friday with features.
Yeah, he's working out all the fine-tuned details, but it's.
The one thing that I thought
anyway, there's going to be a derby in Vegas.
Yeah, 2 separate days. 2 separate days, and it was 40 cars. 40 cars a night, which filled in seconds.
I thought that was amazing, actually.
Locked up his account and everything else, or it froze everything because everybody went to register at the same time. It was nuts.
So the thing that I thought was cool, and where Johnny's attacking this, right, is yes, we get the Derby in Las Vegas, which is so fucking cool. And I think anyone that's going to be there, it's going to be memorable. You're going to be able to tell your kids that, like, you're going to have a picture of your car in front of the MGM Grand or whatever. I don't know, but it's just going to be, like, memorable. But he's attacking for the future. Like, I already know some of the stuff that he's working on. His game plan is, if we can show this one casino that there's value in us as a sport, they all work together. These casinos, they have co-op that's internal, where they say, okay, I'm doing this. Can we all put money in, pitch money in together, and we all work towards this? The eventual goal is maybe someday all these casinos put in money.
Dude,
maybe the casinos pay for guys' cars, sponsor cars.
And the casinos are into cool shit because I watch Count's Customs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right?
The casinos had him build bikes for the casinos, had him build cars. I mean, they're into the hot new things and trying to draw people in. And this is drawing a lot of people in because the hotel is pretty much sold out.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So for them to sell out a hotel, I mean, I'm just saying, for them to sell out a hotel, maybe it's not as hard as what I'm thinking, but different areas to sell out a hotel is pretty insane, and it's a big ass hotel from pictures I've seen.
That's awesome.
So if you're going out there, if you're listening and you are going out there, they're doing stuff Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night after the Derby. Stick with us. If you're in the crowd just even watching, you're from a different area, come and be involved in it because it's not driver only.
Oh, there's giveaways. I mean, he's doing giveaways. He's doing all sorts of shit.
Dude, the giveaways they're giving away, man.
The coolest thing, I think, for the travelers, the coolest thing is, and I didn't realize this, now I have an Uber app on my phone, which I swear I would never do.
Whoa! Whoa! I didn't know those went on flip phones.
Is you can you don't have to rent a car. You can get shuttles from the airport. You get shuttled there. You get Lyft, Uber, whatever. You don't have the expense of renting a car.
Yeah.
Take a taxi, which is
that's
pretty cool. I mean, I could say, if you're there 4 or 5 days, that's saving you $400 or $500.
Yep.
No
kidding.
You can gamble.
And I know
you're there.
They did some packages where all the drivers get they're getting.
Oh, they're getting cool shit. I don't know if he's told anything.
Yeah, I know. I should.
But
if you're a driver, you're getting some really cool stuff that the hotel decided to give to the drivers, which is like, okay, now. If we could keep progressing, where next year everyone is getting new stuff.
And that's going to be on TrackShot too, right?
Yes, sir.
That'll be on TrackShot.
Yep.
And then you've got all your stuff here in New York going on with Spinning Wheels that has it's been going pretty good.
We've been killing it.
Yeah, and I was just talking to him on the way in. There's possibly another show they might be getting.
What I think is happening is a lot of these fairs are sick of the low car counts, and it's like we need to change some shit up. And yes, you guys need to change some shit up. Or you're going to just be on the side. So a lot of fairs have been hitting us up.
Are you nervous at all about burning out your driver pool if you get too many shows and all the fairs 100%. Are expecting?
Yep.
So what do you do?
Already turning shows away.
Yeah, I mean, there's
shows that we want to take are shows that are willing to give us the money to pay the drivers. Because listen, we've had some shows that last year paid their drivers $300. I'm not interested in that. Our purse is at least this high. If you're not even interested in giving drivers that much, we're not even coming.
In the latest one, I got Joey St. Mary reached out to me for up Franklin County Fair up Malone, and they're looking for somebody to come up and do their derby. And I know because I was involved with it years ago up there, and those guys pay their drivers good.
Oh yeah, they do.
I mean, they have a purse each night that's insane that they pay out to all the drivers, and they used to have 100 registered cars a night, and that's a pretty big show. So that's one thing I brought to Josh and Jeremy and Josh Buell. I actually messaged Jeremy about it, and he was going to talk to the quote-unquote boys and see what they had to say because it's such a road trip. I mean, you're talking Malone,
Yeah.
That's a
hop, skip, and a jump.
That's a road trip.
Our game plan as a company is
world domination.
No, no. Actually, it's not. It's not because it's a great point. But like Chris says, I'm going to go on a limb here and say we could pick up a bunch of shows if we wanted, where we could be into the double digits of shows. It doesn't make sense. We're not looking to bleed drivers. We're looking to put great shows on. So
I'm actually on the other side of that. As I'm talking about the expectation that Spinning Wheels has drawn so strong. If you do pick up, let's say you move into double digits. Now all the fairs are going to be saying, well, where's this double digit car count? Because everybody's going to want to support it, but then we're back in the same spot where the drivers are looking to support just their county fairs.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fine line there because like we picked up a show called Lewis County, and it is up
Lowville.
Yeah, it's up in the it's in the middle of nowhere. Let's just say
almost a Watertown,
and everything around it is very old school. And talking to some of the drivers, they were prepping me how basic the builds were, but I don't think I realized the percentage of guys that wanted to stick to
chain and bang.
And everybody wants to be chain and bang.
Yes.
Just the thought of changing my gas tank makes me infuriated.
Yes.
So
yes.
As a group, we're really excited because there's a lot of great drivers up there, like Gilbert and Groff, and the whole group of great people that are up there that are supporting us. But we want to just pick one show in an area, kill it.
Yep.
Morris, we're over there killing it in Morris. But now we got Lewis. Ben, if we went all the way north, we could kill it north. Maybe get a little bit west. I don't want to put on 80 shows.
No,
because then you water it down. Just like Brandon said, I can't advertise in between them. Right now I struggle. The amount of things that like people are like, can you advertise this? Can you advertise? I don't have enough days. I can only do one a day, And it's like you run out of stuff that you couldn't do 10 shows and like Chris says, get people excited about coming. No. I can't do it. Billy can't do it. Buell can't do it. The only thing I think why we're killing it so much is because there's multiples of us. One man, and this just goes, like Brandon said, a team. We talk every single day. The amount of work that Josh Buell does, I couldn't do it. I don't want to do what he does on our section.
That's crazy.
The shit Gully deals with rules and stuff. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to share stuff on Facebook. Very easy.
Hey, you're a PR guy.
Yeah, I'll PR it. But I think we work good because we're all actually targeting different parts that one promoter could not do himself easily. Like Josh is just handling all this. And we just started San Filippo Waffles again. I know everyone's kind of got burned on the whole waffle thing, but ours is 100% legit. We went and got it through our 501c3. We went through. It took us months of banking. We have to write where we send it. We're doing it legit, and it's for all charity. All the money goes to charity. So I know everybody's kind of get burnt out on the whole waffle thing, but know that goes towards that end dollar amount at San Filippo.
What's the San Filippo goal this year?
Staying at 50,000. Yeah, please no. We can't go above that. 50,000. I mean. Please, Gully, don't.
We talked on the phone that one time.
That's a huge number. Huge.
Wondering perhaps if you were.
But just so everyone knows, if you were at San Filippo, our group has started a new 501c3, Team Martin, and
this is the second one.
This is not. We've been given to San Filippo, Team San Filippo, which is not Gully, his wife, and some of us have started a whole new one.
Okay.
And the reason for this is. We're always going to be giving to Team San Filippo for the cure for these kids. But we wanted to start a separate one where we put money also so we could help people in our areas, kids. Right. Because in the last couple of years, we actually had the first one we did, and it wasn't under a 501c3, just our company took money out of the bank and sent it to a family. We had a family, and their daughter had, I think it was leukemia, and she was fighting it and stuff. And we decided as a group, let's send money. Just as us. Just don't even tell anybody, let's just send it. But you have to have... To be able to do that, and you have to have a 501c3. So we're setting one up. Yes, it's to help Team Martin and those guys, but it's also if your kid gets cancer and you guys need some help, or if
it's a way to legitimately be able to give back,
yes.
Which is what
the right
the
way.
Whole reason why all this was started.
100%. And I want to say that for Jeremy and his wife, they've been doing a lot. It takes a lot of work to set one of these up. It's incredible, and they've been fighting and fighting and fighting because they just want to give back to kids, which, it makes me want to help, So a lot of good stuff going on with San Filippo. San Filippo this year is going to be insane. We got some shit on the dock. It's like, oh my God, just wait. It's going to be the sickest show in the Northeast.
Imperials are back at the fair.
Okay, so at Morris, we're doing Imperials versus the World. And this okay. And listen, don't write me hate mail. Okay, it's really a marketing thing to get Imperials back into the world of normal class. Our thought was, why are Imperials banned? Just stick them in the regular class. This heat is going to prove something to our area. Are Imperials unbeatable? No, they're beatable. We know that, but we're going to prove it. Can metrics win? We added a $500 metric bonus, and the reason why is I want a metric to win this class, because then next year when we put Imperials just in our regular classes, no one can say nothing. Don't you guys remember last year when the metric beat it? Mm-hmm. Or Imperials kick ass and stay in their own little world forever, and that might happen. But we're going to build the excitement for that. Mm-hmm. We have 10 on 10, 10 Imperial builders, 10 World. And when we say World, it's any other kind of car, make and model. That's $1,800 to win, $500 bonus if you have a metric.
What would you build for it?
86 Malibu.
You just said you wanted a metric to win.
But it's going to be really exciting. We have a lot of great drivers. And what's weird is some of the Imperial drivers never built Imperials or really aren't Imperial builders. You would have thought like straight down the line, Imperial guys and then straight metric. There are guys that are old iron guys on the metric side saying, I'm going to go win with my $400 car. And they said it right on the chat. I'm going to win in a $400 car, and I'm going to beat your $1,800 Imperial. I dig that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting, I think. I think a lot of people are going to come watch that.
Are they letting you build one?
Huh?
Are they letting you build one?
I think I'm part of the tech. So I won't be building one. That's one.
Because that whole plan about the metric winning. If Ben built one, that happened.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'd love to be able to build one. I mean, there's
some guys that are like Ben, where you would say they would never go metric. Like, Ben's gonna build Imperial, and then they're like, no, I got a '86 Caprice, and it's like, are you kidding me?
It all depends on the rules. Depends on the rule set.
And just so everyone knows, we did what Brandon Dixon. The reason I was asking that is we built off our economy rules. The Imperial weld rule, the Imperial rules are not the same as the World.
Right.
We evened them.
Yep.
Per a discussion. It wasn't so Jeremy, Josh, and I decided, hey, here's the rules and here's the rule. We took a discussion. It had 57 drivers in it. And we all talked for about 2 weeks. And we came to a pretty close where we wanted to be. Then we said we opened it up. We never even opened it to the public. Inside this room of 57, it filled 10 on 10.
Yep.
And then, bam, we're full. It was pretty cool. So the only way you could have got in is that you had to be in the original chat and discussed it with us.
Was there anybody that wanted to build an Imperial that didn't make it to the Imperial list and had to build a metric?
Yes.
Ooh, interesting.
That's going to be an angry person.
And that guy's going to be at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that happened. Yes, that happened.
That's cool.
And
I like that.
The one thing I know that's going to happen is you're going to say World versus Imperial on the track, right? But that money only goes to one guy, not the whole Imperial team, okay?
Yeah,
so it's really one-on-one. Are you going to see...
You'll see team driving.
Team driving. But are you going to see a metric and an imp working on one metric? Yes.
Absolutely.
You are. Because the shit talking that's going on in this chat, it's happening.
Absolutely.
It's team driving until you get the pecking order.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this pecking order is different because it's not Morris people. It's not locals. It's guys from all over.
No, it's people from all over the place.
Yeah, what is the pecking order?
There is none.
No, I think it's who picks fight with who.
Right.
And guys are just going to start slugging it out.
Some guy comes down through with a metric and smokes a subframer just right off the bat, and his ass is in the grass.
And we have 203 and newers being built.
Yeah.
And the 203 and newers being built are by 03 and newer guys.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see, they have the balls to go nose to nose with a box car. When we watch that, I mean, who's flexing? I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it'll be good. Good show. Yeah, be a good show.
And the last thing we got going on is Mini Meltdown.
That's crazy.
Mini Meltdown's gonna be nuts. Last year,
filled. It's instant.
We're doing extreme compact class like Ben and I ran, but for compacts. That's what we did is instead of picking, you know how everyone's doing this online thing like Johnny did where you sign up at 8 o'clock and the first 10 people are in. As we've watched, even with Johnny's, all the websites crash. Mm-hmm. When we did it the last time.
Too much traffic, yeah.
The last 2 times we did it, it crashed, on
right.
So what we decided to do was say, hey, for a week, which is until this Friday, anyone can send in their entry. It's free. You just put your team name. We're going to put them all in a hat, and we're going to pull 20 right on live from my house. You have 1 hour to pay your spot. 1 hour.
That's a good idea.
That's going to crash the site.
After 1 hour, though,
20 people versus 200. It might be a little bit better.
That's what we're thinking.
I hope.
Well, and I wanted to be more fair because not everyone has PayPal and has internet all the time. And what I said was, let's just make it fair so everyone gets their name in the hat.
You might have people that as soon as they see it come up on the screen, they're going to pay it, so they're going to be out of the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll give 1 hour. On hour 2, if 4 people haven't paid, you're out. You lost your spot. I'm pulling 4 brand new people. Those 4 people have 1 hour.
Is it an hour from 8 o'clock or is it an hour from when their envelope actually appears on the screen? Because
the envelope appears on the screen. We already had this conversation. We're actually going to write it on a board. The exact times, like remember 7:17. So you can't say. You see, we already went through this. But that's exciting. That class is going to be full.
Synchronize your watches.
So in 2 days, this is all for the week, but already we have 78 entries. It only fills 20. We got 78 people that threw their name in their hat, and still we get some more of that trickle on. So that's cool.
Oh yeah,
spinning wheels is operating with the clock of San Dimas.
So I think that class will be good. And then we have just straight up mini meltdown. We're giving away more money. Last year we gave away $200 to everybody that made the feature. This year we bumped it up to $300 if you just make the feature. Plus we're giving a little bit extra in there. Mm-hmm. That's because the fairgrounds actually helped us. The fair actually, and I know you're going to say no effing way, the fair came to us and said, let us give a little extra money to the drivers. And it was like, yup, okay, I'm digging this fair. Mm-hmm. And we did. We put it right in. It's right into the payout.
Cool.
No max.
The fairgrounds is helping Mini Meltdown.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to be clear.
Which is rare.
No kidding. Standalone show. You ever seen that have before?
It
helped other people's pockets.
Well, I mean, when we walked into a meeting, Gully and I went to a meeting. Every fair board meeting you go, you're always ready for the fight. Yeah. And Gully and I play good cop, bad cop. I'm the asshole. Gully's the good guy every time, and it's fun. We walked in there. They were the nicest. They were so nice. Mm-hmm. Hey, we love you guys. They actually showed us how much money we helped them make and where we could help them. And it was, I'm helping you guys for the future. We are hooked here at Morris. And I know Morris is kind of a spot where everyone hates, but they got a cell phone tower up. They're close to having it, so we're going to have cell phone. Right now, broadband only through it, but we're close. And that won't be so bad here soon when you have cell phone
Everybody knows you just go to the front office. You got cell signal in the front office. Everybody knows that. Been here long enough, everybody knows.
Everyone's going to be huddled around.
So everybody makes a road trip up front.
But we're not doing a max on that. We're going to let that go as many cars as they want. Now, real quick, the last thing. Last year, if everyone remembers, a super F-up was we let people transfer their spots. We filled 105 spots, and then people could sell them to their friends.
Now, you said last year before you even got to the date that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
No more non-refundable, non-transferable. You're going to pre-register. We're giving out shirts. If you pre-register, you get a shirt, $100 entry. You're in the first 6 heats of the day. Mm-hmm. If you don't, and you decide to come that day, you do not get a shirt. Your entry goes up to $150. $50 hike, and you are stuck in the final 2 heats that we are going to pack. If we get 20 guys, there's going to be 20 in one. You know what I'm saying? We're packing them heats.
You don't want to be in them heats.
And you have the least amount of time to work on your cars.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we are penalizing you for not pre-registering. We want you to pre-register only so we can pull names out of hats the week before. Not 6 months before.
Wait, what?
So we learned a lot of things from last year we're not going to do this year. I think that should go smoother. I think Mini Meltdown will go a lot smoother because we'll have the entry sheets the day before it even starts. Last year, Chris, you remember we wanted to... Yeah, it was bad.
It's crazy.
I still don't know what drivers were in what heat. Still to this day, I don't think. If you remember, it was bad. Yeah. So we're trying to get ahead of that. I think Buell has been focusing on writing everything down. What's it called? When you're more organized, and that's something our team needed. And Buell's been our organizer. And I think it's going to help us be a better crew this year. So, and we're going to make Ben come to a bunch of them and find people cheating.
I think it's funny that because I completely believe that what you said before, like leafing through like this, he's looking for like 4 or 5 different things.
That's it.
Not because that's what the rule is. This is where they're going to try to cheat.
That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
Which that makes me laugh because that's one of my theories I've always had. I look at a car and I'm not assuming it's cheated or anything else. I'm looking at the car saying, if I built this, where would I cheat it?
Yes.
Right. And I've learned a lot of new places to cheat them, over the years. But I enjoy doing it. I mean, it's just like any other job and any other thing that you love to do. It has its times where it's stressing and you want to beat your head against the wall and say, why am I doing this? But at the end of the day, the people with the smiles on their faces and their come up and say, hey, good job, that makes it all worthwhile.
Without saying
on that, no, I want to say while I'm saying that is this is just more to local. This is more local people. It applies to local people. I've been getting phone calls. I've been getting text messages. Everybody I see here or there. I am no longer the head tech, and I have nothing to do with the Seneca County Fair in New York State, not Seneca County, Ohio, because there's a Seneca County Fair in Ohio that I've got phone calls every year for the last 2 years about rules saying, hey, why'd you guys screw the rules up so bad? But no, I'm just going to put that out there. I talked with Kyle last week. He said he was going to try to get a hold of somebody that's knowledgeable to be a tech. I don't know anybody that's knowledgeable. You want to be a tech at that fair? Give Kyle a call because I'm all done.
You need a car.
Huh?
Yeah.
I got a nice LTD sitting in my yard.
Yeah. That's what several people have been telling me.
Several
people have been telling me.
I'll type your name on it. I'll write your name on it.
Mics are picking that up.
Oh, sorry.
So what were you going to say before I interrupted you?
Without saying which car. Have you got to a point where you've learned so much about so many different ways that a car could be cheated that as it pulls away from tech, you're like, man, I forgot to check right there.
Oh, you that's where you rely on your other tech guys. That's why Utah, for example, Stern Dirt, I mean, we have 4 guys under the ramp. And then there's 4 to 6 guys that are the top guys.
Right.
So, that's where it's important to have a good crew. I mean, around this area, a lot of the shows I was by myself.
Right, that's what I mean.
So
right. I guess more
absolutely, to answer your question, 100%, absolutely. There's times where it's like, yeah, shit, I should have checked that spot.
Sure.
And guys bust my balls all the time because I'll just walk around afterwards. I'll walk around while they're pulling up. I'll get a flashlight and I'll look. And here's the difference, though. If I missed it when it went through tech, and that's on me.
Right. Yes, I agree with that.
So I'm not going to pull a dick move when the guy's pulling out on the track saying, oh, yeah, I missed that going through tech, so no, you can't run. Right. Unless it's,
egregious.
Plated in, stuffed frames or something like that. But, there has been things. Jesus, I should have checked here. I should have checked there.
Right.
But
that's where that
goes in the mental notebook, which and there's not. I don't care. I'll call all the techs out. There's not a tech out there that hasn't happened to. Well, because everybody learns something new at every show they go to, because everybody's pushing the envelope that much more every car they build.
Right.
So all you can do is just try to do as much research and try to be on the same curve as everybody else, and that's where it's important, like I said, to have a good, reliable crew that's knowledgeable and has each other back and has each other's, is on the same page.
Right.
So,
and don't take that wrong. I'm not picking on you.
No.
No. It's just, can you think of...
That's the way, I throw shit out there like that. Well, so it is what it is.
What I'm saying is, can you imagine if Josh had your knowledge, how much stuff he'd forget to check in tech?
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Well, I forget. Well, we know that.
You still have a show to put on, so you can't get wrapped into the whole analysis paralysis where you're trying to, you still got to check every car, make sure they get through, but then it's one of those things where you got so many different places that you want to check.
That's where it's very, very important for promoters to be on the promoting side of it and have trust in their tech crew, and because they got enough shit going on, let alone to add into the tech part of it, because we got enough shit going on.
Well, that's the other thing. Promoters, you're in the front office. Inspectors are at the ramp.
Yep.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we've learned that. We really have learned that. I use that in our business. Like, I don't go screw with Jeremy at all during tech. Yeah. That is his baby. Yeah. I got my baby.
Josh
over here.
Josh just delivers hamburgers.
Yeah, you guys want food? Yeah. I'll come back over in 10.
You want food? You need something shared? Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know me.
No, it's, yeah.
But I've been in lines with Ben where, and I'm not going to call any techs out, but we've been in line, and that's how I know it happens to everybody, where the tech went through, and then you and I were standing there, and you're like, yeah, I see this right here. This right here. It's like, oh shit, and that.
Oh my God, I was there for one of those.
I was there for one of the most epic ones ever.
Hey,
I just told that story the other day.
And the cell phones. Anyway,
it happens.
We're just about out of time. Anyway, anything that we missed on, Ben? Anything you want to add?
No, I just wanted to touch base on the local stuff, and that's pretty much about it. I mean, I've been busy.
How's your boy?
Huh?
How's your boy?
Big. He's sporting around his new tattoo he got. So he's all wound up with that. Dad's been wanting to, get a tattoo for 20 plus years, and he's 19 years. He's 19 years old and goes out and gets one. So hey, he loves it. A lot of thought with it. He really liked it, and he's doing real good in school, real good in college, and Sydney's into the basketball now. So he's out of school and out of sports, and Sydney's into the sports. So
and she's still doing softball too?
No, volleyball, basketball, and lacrosse.
I'm sorry.
So
that's a busy school year.
It's a fun season.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody's going along. Stacy's driving a big truck now. It's an SUV. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Josh just got his SUV started back up.
Which one's that?
The one you brought into the shop.
The 67.
Oh man, thank God! I know my old ladies want me to fix that forever. Jay King hooked me up. Actually, I've been looking for these control arms forever, and then Jay King put them up on Facebook one night, and I'm like, oh, "You're my savior!" And he bought them, or I bought them from him, and I put them in, and that old girl's back to driving.
Anything else we missed?
No, I don't think so.
No. We got more coming though. There's tons more coming.
There's a lot happening this year. There's a lot of good stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, Demolition Derby. No one can say it's dead right now. There are so many. I was talking to Munch yesterday. There's so many fantastic shows on a regional level and national level compared to 5 years ago. You don't know where to go, and that's a good thing for the sport. When you have to pick the great shows to go to.
Mm-hmm. And then the promoters need to understand that same thing.
I agree.
Because if your fair board is expecting you to bring 100 cars when you look at the landscape and you only get 60, the fair boards can't quit on it. It's all about building. Anything? Did we miss anything?
I think we got it.
Rob Hewer won
in Oklahoma.
Claremore, Oklahoma, indoor derby. So that was cool. They showed up there, a bunch of nasty Cadillacs, and the entire cheering section, it appears, went, given all the congratulations and stuff. So it was cool to see him pick up that win. Derby was a little bit under the radar. I was quiet. A little surprised by it, but that was cool. And
how cool would it be to win with your kid over and over, and just doing that with your kid? Like, man, that's on that level. Like, that's cool.
Well, that's the only thing that he's gotten on his kid, really, because you can't say you're never too big to put over my knee. I mean, the only thing
Trey's already bigger than Rob. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Those are good dudes. Good, that whole group. I like. Yeah.
I fixed it while we were on the air. It is episode 258. I think that is going to do it for us here this evening. We appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with us for a little while on episode 258. Big thanks to Ben and Josh for making the trip up, especially in the inclement weather, and Brandon Dixon making some time for us in the busy week leading up to Redneck Rumble. Make sure you jump online, support that show. It's going to be streamed on Derby Nation, so you'll be able to tune in and watch all that action as it goes. And we'll be back here again next week with a follow-up on Redneck Rumble. We'll see you then.
Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.